Hey friends, Mike and Jess here.
And welcome to RegenerationNationTV. We have made it to episode 2 from season 2. I almost said season 1. I'm not used to this yet. The Ricky Gervais show. This is Doppelganger, which
Yes,
I feel like
is.
in season 1 we had an episode where he talked about doppelgangers.
He's definitely talked about it before, so now we've got a full-on episode title. So yeah, this is gonna be great. We got links for this down below, all that good stuff. Let's get into this.
Let's do it.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and KARL Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant. Hello. And the little round-headed buffoon that is KARL Pilkington.
All right. Now, Karl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you. Yeah. Jake has emailed in. He says, Karl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so somehow they've cloned you, Karl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, it's so messed up that the first thing he says is like, what would you make him do? Every time that we have this situation, we always and even in my head, I'm like, I would make him do this. Yep, you're doing that. And it's like, it's so dark. It's such a, we're not going to go hang out.
Well, it's a hypothetical question. You can be like, you can make it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's real.
It is hypothetical. You're right. But still.
What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered. And that'd be the end of conversation.
What would do me head in is, does he think the same way, look the same way?
Exactly the same.
Yeah. How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No.
That's incredible.
No, because
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than how would I know which one was me?
But think about it. This other person's going, all right, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or so how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
Oh, no.
But you know who you are because you're experiencing it.
But he'd be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it's a bit weird.
But you know the truth, you idiot.
How would I know which one I was?
I mean, there is the show Invincible right now, the animated show on Amazon.
Yeah.
And they had, in the first season at least, these dudes that were like really smart scientist dudes or whatever, but they can clone themselves, but they were always fighting on like who was the original. You know what I mean? And they kind of lost over time. They kept cloning, and one would die, and then
I
they
can
just,
see
like,
that
lost
happening.
Who was the original one?
If you're continuing to clone, but if you literally are like, I'm thinking in my head, and I'm looking at this other person that looks like me, like I'm still thinking that this is me. I am me, like that kind of thing. Like he's even saying out loud, like, how do I know who I am? And I'm like, you're literally saying I and me. You know who you are.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It would be weird.
So anyway,
but bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you,
You could be in two places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
no, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, will you pack it in? And he's going, what? What are you on about?
Will you pack it in?
But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway.
Bad doppelganger.
Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless.
I mean, yeah, if I had one, and then I'm like, hey, we need to do this, we could get ahead, we could do so many things now. He's like, nah, bro, you have a wife and kids, I'm free and clear, I'm going.
I'm going to live my life.
See ya. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to visit the UK before you.
I would be
How about
so
that?
disturbed because there's so many different situations, but if you ever switched with them, with me, like I would be so disturbed by that. I don't think I could ever live with myself if I did that. Like it's a whole nother being.
Yeah, it's a weird
It's
thought.
not the same.
I could talk about this for like an hour. This is an interesting topic.
Oh, still won't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two Karls.
Yeah,
he was having a discussion with himself.
we could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean?
What was that?
Does this mean though that I could just sit at home and not do anything, and just send me out on?
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No. You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little, again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's all right when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? That normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They just got their arse stuck together.
Oh God.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
They should have done Ricky and Steven as the Siamese twins.
Okay, Karl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right. The pressure is when I've told you the answer to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so there's two doors, Karl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven, one leads to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, they're identical. You can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously, you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's two guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what? One to both?
No, one to either of them. You don't know which one's which,
That's
though.
so easy.
So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not
the rules are you can only ask one. There aren't actually two doors labelled heaven and hell, Karl. It's a leap of imagination here.
What would you
And
ask?
I would ask. Well, you're just going to one person, or are you asking the question to both of them?
So, no, you're just asking one, but then depending on the answer, I assume you can still choose. You don't have to choose the door of the person you asked.
Yeah. Well, I would just say, is this whatever door I'm at? I was like, is this heaven? And then whatever they answer to me, they could be lying or telling the truth, and I have to just tell by the way.
No, that's still just what? That's still leaving it up to too much chance.
I don't know. I think I
Just
could
ask
tell if
them
somebody's lying.
like so many different things. What's my mother's name? And it's like, you know your mother's name. If it says the truth, boom, you're good. If it says the
okay,
lie,
I feel
it's
a
like
little
Barbara.
bit like Karl here because I'm gonna ask some silly questions. Maybe my brain's not thinking correctly this morning, but how would they know that? Are they supposed to just be all-knowing guards? They know everything,
The heaven guard always tells the truth.
right?
The hell guard always tells a lie.
So just
he's going
ask
to
him
say
something.
your mom's name is wrong because he can't do anything but tell a lie.
Okay.
So you're like, no, it's not,
I feel you.
Barbara.
Okay.
It is not that. Okay.
I've
anyway.
definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. What question do you ask?
I can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no keyhole.
Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
So they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling,
Yeah.
but one of them's not really smiling. Really, he's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question. If you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah.
But would
he
they
just
be
told you.
neighbours
It's
like
so
this? Would they be
easy.
that close?
You can pick literally anything that you know to be definite, and it's like, okay, well, I know this is
A definitive
definite.
question,
You can't
yeah.
ask anything that's up to like, well, I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. No.
Like,
Yeah.
what color shirt
But
am
would
I
they be
wearing?
neighbours
Maybe
like
ask
this? Would they
that.
be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these two guys get on.
Okay, it's a logical. Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No,
And
no,
then-
no, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
So-
No, hang on. Right, so you go up and you
Yeah.
go. You
Right,
go,
hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those two guys. Okay, right?
But we have to. Well, me and Steve would decide which doors we're guarding. Okay.
Right.
I'm.
Look away, Carl.
Okay then.
Right, so we've decided. Okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question you're going to ask and who you're going to ask it to?
Right. I'll just say to you, Steve. I'll go. Got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some posts for God here.
Well, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the question's coming. You got some posts for God here, yeah.
Cook.
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No,
So
let him finish.
is God
it,
needed
Ricky.
to sign for this post? Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Is
Go
he
on.
in?
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
Yes,
Do you,
he's
want,
in.
do you want to get him? Just
Well, no, you only got one question.
See?
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
look, lads, I'm just trying to do a job here.
True.
What am I gonna do
Okay.
with this?
Okay.
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. Let me tell you the answer. I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so I'd say he'd say hell. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door
That's
are
one
you?
way to do it.
Are you looking after?
Okay.
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same, and I'd say heaven as well.
Right. So who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's.
This is where you went.
So
to.
he's saying.
This is where you
He's
went to
saying.
with it.
Yeah.
You just wanted to
I
still
did.
leave it up to
I
your
did.
gut
I did.
feeling.
But so he's saying, whoever you ask, be like, what would the other person say that the door that they're guarding? So that's what they say. Like,
That's
what he
a
just said,
more
though?
difficult way to do it, honestly, in my opinion. But hey, if it's they made this whole thing up.
right. But that's what he's saying, though, right?
Yeah.
He's saying, so the guy that's guarding the door of hell, you say, what would the other guy guarding the other door say he's guarding?
Yeah, I would be very specific with my question, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that makes sense, though, because he's going to say hell because he's going to lie to you. So then you know that the other guy is guarding. You know what I mean?
It's like I ask what my mother's name is, and then I don't know, the devil finds some way to twist it or something. Like, what did I know my mother's name to be my entire life? Okay, like get more specific with it so there's no wiggle room. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the way that, yeah, it's an interesting, I want to do this with our sons now.
is
Yeah,
where
see?
you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's.
As opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
Right.
I just think because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him.
Then don't ask
They're
that
identical.
question.
Yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
It's Ricky.
It is.
A little snidey one.
Oh, chimpanzee, he's written it down.
Yes, it's time.
That's the jingle there for Karl's diary. Here we are. Spoke to Ricky and his friend Glyn about art. I just don't get it. Ricky had some odd pictures on his walls. I don't have any pictures up in my flat because of the mirrored wall. But I can't say I'm bothered. The mirrored wall, we should just explain what that is. When you moved into your flat, there was an enormous mirror on one wall. Was that right?
We just got this flat and you know, it's not a big flat, so I think the people who had it before us, he was a gay fella, right, which was a bit like, oh, so you've been doing with that mirror and
So
that.
he's been using the giant mirrors.
No, just, you know. Just,
What?
What has he been doing with the mirror?
Well,
What's he
just
been
a
doing?
bit- No,
what?
it's just because they're quite sort of experimental in it, aren't they? And
I don't know. What do you mean? What do they do?
I would bleach that mirror when I moved in. I'm sorry. I would bleach the hell out of that
That's
thing.
silly, just for him to say he's a gay fellow, so that's why he had this big mirror, because he's using it for inappropriate things.
It's not
What if
even.
he just likes to look at himself in all angles when he got ready? You know what I mean? Like, what if he was a dancer? What if he liked to dance and he liked to see his dance moves?
Yeah, I don't know. There's some sexual stuff going on involving that mirror. We all know it. Come on now. Stop. Don't be coy here.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it, but go on.
No, what do you want? What?
no, I don't.
Experimental in what
What do you
way?
mean experimental?
I just mean, you know, they'd be doing stuff, whatever they do.
Chemistry,
Whoa.
chemistry set out, they were doing experiments. What?
No, just doing what.
Singing "I Am What I Am" and just checking out
No,
the
each to
dance
their own. I'm not
moves.
having a go at anyone, but
What?
I'm just saying, like, they're doing what they're doing, which
Carl, you're
is
not
annoying as
homophobic,
well.
are you?
Because,
You're not
no,
st-
I'm not. I'm
Well,
not. This is why.
Why are you worried about what a little gay fella was doing in your flat before you got it in the front of a mirror?
I wasn't worried about it.
Why
I
are
mean,
you thinking about what he's doing? Why are you fantasising what a little gay fella was doing in front of your mirror in your...
Fantasising.
I'm not bothered. I'm just telling you why it was a bit odd that he had a mirror in there, right? But forget the history.
But you've got a mirror in there now, haven't you?
No, because what I did was I was going to take it down, and I thought, oh, it's a bit dangerous. This, you know, it could crack and
Because it's the
fall on
size
me.
of the whole wall, isn't it?
It took up a whole wall,
Right.
right? So like when he's moving about everywhere, he's got a good view of it and that. But he's got this full wall of mirror, and I thought I can't take that down. And I thought, what can I do? So I've just put wallpaper on it,
Brilliant.
and it looks all right. You wouldn't know and what have you, but it means that I can't put any pictures
Yeah,
up.
you can't.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because I've put a nail in it.
And what
man.
don't you understand about art? What about art don't you understand? The concept, specifics.
No,
So-
that's like when we were in London having a shop around at Christmas, and there was that picture of fruit for 700 quid. It's like, well, just get some fruit. You know what I mean? You can get some real fruit for 3 quid.
Yeah.
I understand that, but don't invent cameras then, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Someone invents something, and then they go, we've got to invent something else. Like the abstract thing. Why has someone gone, oh, I can't have paintings anymore because...
What do you think of Dali? Going, melting clocks and stuff. No?
I mean, the first one was all right when he did the first clock, but then all the time he's just like, oh, I'll draw something and it's got a melting clock on it. I'll do a sheep, put one of them on it.
Have you
put a
seen his
little clock on
lobster
it.
telephone?
That annoys me.
Why?
Because I think what annoyed me more with that is when I heard about how it happened, he had some artist mate round, right? And I don't know what happened. They were
okay.
they were
That's a
eating.
good hell of an anecdote.
No, but they were eating. They were eating some food and what have you.
Yeah.
Lobsters?
And yeah, they were eating lobster.
All right.
And
That's handy.
I don't know, the other artist, whoever it was, sort
Got a
of
phone?
started saying, "Oh, you and your clocks and all that," right?
Brilliant.
And, they
This
started,
didn't happen.
They started arguing,
Yeah.
and he chucked some of the lobster.
Bollocks.
And it landed on the
It
phone.
bounced off his mate's head, went on the phone, and they both looked at each other like, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And they brought out that phone as a bit of art. Things like that annoy me. Because
happen.
it was them just messing
That
about.
didn't happen.
Just telling you what I know. I saw his work. Each to their own if that's what he's doing. I'm just saying, I'm not putting my stamp of approval on it. Art should
Yeah,
be...
I don't get a lot of art. Like I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of pictures that I'm like, oh, that it's like a picture of a really nice beach or some picture of mountains or something that makes me feel good. Something that I'm like, I want to look at that every day. And I wouldn't mind having that on my wall to walk past every day and just like, great view.
Yeah, it
what
gives
a
me
great
good
view that
vibes,
is.
yeah.
Something that gives me good feelings. But when it comes to something like that, it's like just 2 pieces of fruit or a single piece of fruit or 3 pieces of fruit. I don't care how many pieces of fruit that are in the picture. It's like I'd rather look at a bowl of real fruit on my table than look at a picture of fruit on my wall. And
I
that
have
goes for
2
most
different-
things. I don't know.
Yeah, 2 different views on it. Just like the artistry of it, I love that because somebody put their heart and soul into it, and it's something that they get feeling to. So I get that, but I could never go to like an art museum and like look at something that's super abstract and try to like dissect it and see. Because I could tell you how it makes me feel, but I'm not gonna have an intellectual conversation because I'm gonna have no idea what it's supposed to mean. You know
There's
what I mean?
some
Like,
pieces that I look at and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And then there's some that I'm like, I don't
get it.
understand this.
don't
I don't get
understand.
this at
Yeah.
all. I don't get the appeal.
to their own if that's what he's doing. I'm just saying, I'm not putting my stamp of approval on it. Art should be there to tell a story, not just to have a splash of colour.
Well, Suzanne like some art. Just like Suzanne's not allowed to watch telly unless it's her favourite thing. Otherwise, she's got to talk to me about stuff. There's no art. There's no point. Just wallpaper.
I'm just saying, we've got three windows we can look out of.
Right.
Right? Stop looking at the walls. Look out the window.
You don't always have a good view out your window, so that's where I don't have a view of the ocean out my window, so I want to put one on the wall, you know?
My mum phoned and said that my Auntie Nora, classic Auntie Nora, wanted me to look on the internet to find out what the weather will be like in Spain at the end of November. I don't know where she gets her money from. 2 months ago, she was asking me dad how much it would be to get her back garden astroturfed because she's sick and tired of the grass getting out of her.
I've thought about that.
Football team? What does she want a back garden astroturf?
She likes the sort of green look, but she doesn't like the headache that comes with it, so she's just looking into getting that false
I'm
grass
down
put
for
in
that. I am.
Brilliant.
I thought about it.
Went round to Ricky's and had some chicken curry that Ricky's girlfriend Jane had made. Ricky and Jane were going on holiday for a few days and had arranged for Glyn to come in and make sure the cat was okay while they were away. I'm sick of that cat. I was surprised that they hadn't paid for the little shit to go away with them on first class. Blimey, getting a bit vitriolic in the
Why doesn't he like the fact that I've got a cat and I love the cat? Why?
It's just everything in that house that you've got gets sort of special treatment, and it's a cat. And it
What do you mean
annoys
you get
me.
special treatment?
Sometimes
We put food down for it, and sometimes it gets on our lap and we stroke it.
You don't just stroke it.
We're
you
not sending
massage it. You massage its back. You go, no, you're stressed out.
Well,
You're
no, it's
stressed
good.
out."
No, I'm not saying you stressed out. At no point did I say you stressed out. You said, "What the fuck are you doing for? Is it stressed out or something?" I like touching my cat.
To be honest with you, I don't like Ricky's cat.
I can't believe
Because every time I go around there, it goes straight from the ghoulies.
It's like the lizard thing you've got. It's just sat there. You've bought a big box, right, to be in.
Right,
And the
one,
last
it's a salamander, so it's an amphibian. It's
Yeah.
not a box, it's a big vivarium.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
And
is...
and if you're going to criticise someone for just sitting there, having a round head and doing nothing with its life, people who live in glass houses,
No,
we've
but
done this one.
Do you know what gets me though, right, Steve? When I was there, I was looking at it and I thought, is it dead? Right, because he's just sat there. Like,
And it was thinking exactly the same fucking
he sat
thing.
there, not moving, right? And then on the top of the box is like a box full of crickets and stuff. That's it. It's its food.
Yeah.
Right? But they were more active than the thing that it was going to feed. Get rid of the lizards. Keep them in there. More entertaining. Don't understand it.
A few months back, a girl who was having a kid
That's
showed me one of them
hilarious.
scans of the kid that was in her. That's science gone mad, innit? I couldn't think of anything nice to say as it looked like a frog.
Dude, he's right. He is right. It's like, oh, look, it's a boy. Or here's my baby at 3 weeks old. I don't even know, man. They get those things early.
They can, and they just look like a little peanut. But when they start getting facial features and stuff like that, I like seeing those scans. Those are beautiful.
This picture on screen is an accurate description of what it looks like.
Not.
Yes, it is.
Not look like that.
Mad, innit?
And
I
that's
couldn't
my
think of anything nice
accurate
to say
description
as
of
it
my
looked
face.
like a frog.
Do you know why we've got to that point? What? Why have we got to see something that young? Why?
Because people can keep an eye on the progress of the baby in the womb.
Yeah, but why are they printing it out and stuff? Surely that's for a doctor to see.
Well, that's just an added bonus for people who are interested in such
But that's
things.
like saying, why do you take pictures of anything?
No, but what I mean is, why? At what point are we going to stop? Are we going to start sort of X-raying the fella's testicles and saying, well, there it is at a really young age? where are we going to stop?
It's just horses for courses, isn't it? Some people like to have a record of their baby in the womb. They
That's
like
right.
to show their baby. They're
They sit
excited
there-
about it.
They sit down and they show the friends the slideshow. That's
go.
the birth. Oh, that's the conception. Oh, look, Ron's going a bit mad there, isn't he?
But why do I need to see this?
I think it's way cooler for the parents, and even me. Like, if I were able to see a picture of myself that young, it's kind of trippy.
Yeah, it is kind of trippy.
But other than that, like showing it to other people, I'm not that type of person. I'm not gonna
Showing
take
it
an
off.
early on scan like that.
And just show it to
and show it
everybody.
to people.
Yeah, I
'Cause
agree
they're
with
like,
that.
what am I even looking at?
Yeah, like I'm literally just putting the picture out there to like announce it, like announce the fact that I am.
But the
pregnant.
later on scans, the ultrasounds.
Yeah.
Sharing those, I think, is cool.
Yeah.
You know, I did that. I did a bit of that.
Inception. Oh, look, Ron's going a bit mad there, isn't he?
But why do I need to see this? This is what I'm saying. It was an awkward situation because she was happy with it. I was like, oh, God. You know what I mean? It was an odd-looking thing. I couldn't say, oh, it looks like it, because that would be a diss.
Well, Rick, you're not the only one who's been away. I know you've been off working, but
Yeah.
I, at long last, have taken a bit of leisure time.
Go on.
And you've probably heard of the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. Only one of the hottest, events in the world calendar.
Yeah.
Imagine me down there.
Oh,
Rio,
God.
you can imagine, did not know what hit it.
Oh, God almighty. Imagine, were you like Paul the Party Animal Parker?
He would not have been able to keep up if he was with me.
God, what did you do? What did you get up to?
Oh, let me tell you right now. Day 1, I almost drowned. Day 2, I got a foot infection and spent the day in the hospital. And the rest of the time, I had diarrhea. So that was a hell of a time.
Carnival.
Yeah, I did. I was able to watch some of the carnival on TV, and it looked brilliant. It looked amazing. I didn't actually. It was difficult.
Hey, there's Karl in a few years. That's the same outfit he wore when he went.
And it looked brilliant. It looked amazing. I didn't actually. It was difficult to make out because the TV wasn't actually in my room. Because in an effort to save money, I wasn't staying in a hotel. I was staying with a bunch of other people in some kind of like someone's flat that they'd let out, and so I had to watch the TV like from my window, watching a neighbour's TV. And of course, when they change the channel, often during the juicy bits, I couldn't see anything. And but it looked really good. I'm bunged up at the moment just so I can get through the show. But I've just been on a 12-hour flight, and it is terrifying being on a flight when you know that any moment you could go. Because how the problem is sometimes the toilet's free, and sometimes you've got to queue up. And the worst bit is that sort of half an hour just before you land, when they say the toilets are out of bounds now. I tell you, I went twice before that in quick succession. The woman sat next to the toilet. She didn't know what was going on, the noises and stuff in there, and because I was really panicky. Oh, Christ. And so of course then on the whole flight, as we're landing, I'm really petrified because I'm thinking I packed a pair of underpants and jeans in the bag in the holdall. Just in case it all went. And I was really, because I hate flying anyway, and I hate landing because it's the most terrifying moment of the journey. Then it really was rumbling, and I was thinking, I've got to get out of here. Of course, you know when you're in a hurry, everything makes you angry. The little old lady in front of me who's just hobbling along off the gangplank. Just really annoyed.
With your bad hips and your bad
and
legs.
your Zimmer frame.
I know you've been through a war, but get out of my way.
And just anyone who kind of even passes you, and so I managed to get there just in time. Got into and it all went off. Man alive, it was grim. But that was not anything compared with the first couple of days. Because the first day I went for a walk. Ipswich Beach is famous for just the beautiful, beautiful people that gather there. There's so many beautiful women in Rio. It made me angry. I was angry that these women were so attractive and that none of them were even looking at me. So, but anyway, I'm on the beach because I was shopping and I needed a wee. Right, and we went for a quick impromptu swim, and I thought, oh, we in the sea.
Just think of him on this beach, right, with diarrhea.
Well, I'm wearing great big long shorts, because I'm not going to try and compete with these boys, because they
And you are, could I say this, the whitest man
Yeah.
I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, with his shirt off, you can see his heart like a newborn fish.
Well, this was the thing. As I went into the sea to have a wee, there was a discussion about this.
As I went into the sea to have a wee in a litter tray.
See, there was a discussion about this because I'm very much of the opinion that you should take your trunks down, and some people, some of my friends are saying, just do it in your trunks and let the sea just wash it away.
What a hell of a carnival.
And I think I'm against that. I've always been against that in swimming pools, everything, So
I'm against pissing in swimming pools, full stop. It doesn't matter whether you do take your trunks down or don't piss
But
in a
what about
swimming
in the
pool.
sea?
Yeah, well, fine.
When you're a kid, it's okay. Dude, that's the most that we've ever gotten out of Steven.
For real, I've never
And
had
he
a
was
full
just going,
conversation.
dude.
Like, he
was
went
going
on
90 miles an hour.
Well, he's been waiting a
with
whole
those stories.
season and 2 episodes to get this out.
Right?
I'm kidding.
Dude, I was thinking about this, though. I wanted to say it. I tried to find a good place to pause, but he wouldn't stop. When he was talking about the plane flight, though, and going to the bathroom, it's kind of weird. Okay, but I'm going to bring it up. I've only flown twice, and the last time was pretty recently. And I was thinking about it when we were up in the air. I was like, man, I want to go number 2 up in this like 37,000 feet up one time in my life.
Oh my God.
But then I'm like, man,
It's a
the
different
flight
kind of
attendant
mild.
is like right outside of the door up there. I don't know about this. I'm kind of noisy in there a bit, you know, sometimes. I'm like, I don't
And then you're
know
going to have
about
to
this.
sit through it, whoever heard you and watched you get out and witnessed it.
Ultimately, I decided against it that time. But one day, I believe it's going to happen.
Everything, you know. So I
No,
have to,
I'm against pissing in swimming pools, full stop. It doesn't matter whether you do get in, take your trunks down or let it. Don't piss
But
in the
what about
swimming
in the
pool.
sea?
Don't
Yeah,
do
well, it's
it.
fine, yeah.
Fine, okay,
I mean,
right, so-
fish do it.
So anyway, so I'm in the sea trying to urinate, and I kneeled because I'm obviously very tall, so it's tricky to get deep enough for the water to mask what you're up to. So I tried to kneel down in the water, right, and I got John Thomas out, but then the water swept out again and just left me on the beach.
No.
So, but luckily my back was to everyone, so no one saw. So
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
I
so
saw.
I
I can't
walked.
think of a funnier sight than Steve Merchant on his knees with his little John Thomas out. I don't know how big it is. I've never seen it. But I mean, I imagine it's in proportion to the rest of it, is it?
I
No?
wish. That's
I
all
wish.
I'll say is I've been a
He
little
said,
short.
I wish.
Changed. But so then I got up and I waded a bit deeper in, right? And now I was trying. I got it out. But what I didn't realise is that the waves just off the beach are really just uncontrollable. You never know what's going to happen. So suddenly I see this giant wave coming towards me, crashing towards me, and I got the cock out and everything, and it grabs this wave, comes over me, and lifts me up, flips me up in the water, right? And I'm floundering around. I can't see anything because, of course, I had to take my glasses off to go in the sea. Because I didn't want to lose them. So I floundering around, and I'm genuinely getting scared because as I try to get into shore, the wave just pulls me back again. So
Oh
I'm
my
waving
gosh.
to my friends on the beach. But
With everything.
Well, what I don't realise is that because I'm not wearing my glasses, I don't realise that I've been dragged along the beach some way, and I'm not actually waving to my friends.
Oh, no.
So there's like a bunch of these beautiful women on Ipanema
Oh
Beach
my God.
watching a pasty white man waving with his cock out. And what annoyed me was my friends were laughing. And that
Steve,
really angers
if
me.
I'd have been there, I
really
would have
angers
burst.
But why wouldn't you have come running? Would you have come running in to help me?
Oh, I couldn't have saved you with your glasses off and your knob out. If I ever save you, I want you to be fully dressed with your glasses on.
So you'd have just let me go. That would have been what you'd said to my parents. He had his knob out and his glasses off. There was no way I was
I
gonna...
can't think of a
I couldn't
funnier sight.
save him. I couldn't
Oh.
do it.
He was flapping all about. I was scared that thing was going to hit me.
Oh my gosh.
He
That was
lied.
the first time?
It is properly proportioned to the rest of his body.
Oh, that whole situation was so horrible. What a horrible, awful vacation, like a little
we need
leisure
more
time.
stories from Steven.
Yeah, right. That was so funny.
That was amazing.
That was the first time we ever have ended an episode with Steven talking. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was the most, I think. And that one just bit right there was the most words we've ever
We've
gotten
gotten
out of
from him. Yep.
That was amazing, man. What a story.
Jeez Louise, that would be horrible.
A
That's
little
my
bit,
biggest fear, though, is going somewhere for the first time and just being sick the whole time because it's a different area. You're not
Yeah.
used to the, you don't have that acclimation in your body to get used to all the things, the microorganisms. I don't know. I don't know what would get you sick, but you wouldn't be used to it because you'd be used to living in a certain way around a certain environment, and then
Yeah, traveling is rough, man. It's like you want to get out, you want to have a good time. You're traveling. It's going to be a great vacation. You have all these expectations in your head,
Yeah.
all these plans, and then just you're out of your
Disaster
comfort
strikes.
zone.
Yep.
You can't find a good cup of coffee or
Yeah.
tea, whatever you're into, and just nothing is going right.
Yeah,
And you
little
just-
things
you
like
just-
that.
2 days in, it's like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, I
just wanna go home.
Homesick is a real thing for sure, and especially with all those bad things that are happening, you're like, yeah, I'm just ready. I'm ready to go home.
It is great when a vacation goes off without a hitch and you actually do get to enjoy, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to go home.
Yeah, I like this life.
Yeah. Well, that was a great episode, man. Doppelgangers. Wow. He's got a interesting take. I literally could talk about doppelgangers and that whole
It's
thing
so
for
interesting to
long.
me. It really is interesting to me because there's so many people that you see that look like people that you know, and it's crazy. Like there's
That's
people
one
out
thing.
there that
That's
look like
one
you.
thing, but the way that they took the spin on it, and it's like, what would you make them do? What would you
Right.
like?
It's the different hypothetical
It's just
situations.
like, man, they're gonna be their own person. They are gonna be their
Can't
own
make them do nothing
person.
unless it's literally a clone of you that you are given because you paid for it.
Yeah.
Like, or something.
and
you
they're
know what I
gonna
mean?
know they have freedom.
Yeah.
It's
They
like,
are.
I'm the clone. I have way more freedom than you.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't have any attachments.
if anything, you're
I just
doing
have your
what
face.
I tell you to
That's
do.
it. Yeah. Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Kids are calling. I'm not going them to get them. You better take care of them. I just
I'm
got
leaving.
here.
Bye.
Yeah.
I gotta
See
go
ya.
live my life. I just was born. You know.
thought I was gonna do all this stuff for you. That is so funny. You're lucky I don't fight you right now. We're just as equally as strong.
Exactly.
That's like-
I have the same
it's like,
strength that
how
you
are you gonna
do.
force him to do anything? Like I said that earlier on, they know all your moves.
They do.
know your weaknesses, your
Yep.
strengths, and they're probably more vicious than you are. They don't have,
That's crazy.
it's crazy. What a weird thing to think about and talk about. I would like to talk to him about that at length, actually. Anyways, next episode, what do we got? The Fly. Gonna get Jeff Goldblum in
Yeah.
the next episode.
Yeah, I gotta put
I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us on this one. We will see you on the next one.
Bye, friends.
Peace.
I'm not scared of your love, so show me